As our trip came to an end, our last stop was Death Valley National Park. We had one day in Death Valley before driving to Las Vegas to fly home. One day in Death Valley is not enough, especially if you come in from the California side. It was a 3.5-hour drive from Lancaster to Furnace Creek Visitor Center, and for over an hour we had no cell phone service and saw no signs of civilization. I thought that was a bicycle coming down the road, but it was a donkey just walking down the road. The only signs of life we saw was a wild burro, which happens to be an invasive species. The National Park Service is trying to round up all the wild burros because they compete with the native wildlife, destroy vegetation, and foul the water sources. There's actually a hotline to call if you spot one of these, but I didn't know this at the time. So we're here at the sign at Death Valley, and this is probably the most remote place that I have ever been, even more so than Great Basin. I mean, we've been driving for an hour and I haven't seen a single thing. No cell phone service. I mean, we are out here. It's just crazy. I can't imagine people coming across this in the old days in horse and buggy. I mean, I guess that's probably why they call it Death Valley, because there's nowhere to go to get shade or water or anything. So it is beautiful though. This is Mesquite Dunes. And driftwood, yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess this area is where water pools. See how it's But this sand is like a dark color. You can see it's got specks of black in it, but it's super fine. I bet in the summertime it holds the heat in. So we actually came at an unusual time after a rain event. So in the basin there's actually water pooled up in areas. I guess it's so dry when it does rain, it sucks the water up pretty quick. These different color rocks are crazy. It's just a rocky landscape all the way down to the basin. But there's so many different color rocks here, not exactly sure what caused that, but it's pretty neat. Not sure if my watch is right, but negative 238 feet. Borax. So this is the borax area where I guess they mined it or gathered it. I'm not sure. 20 mule team. So this is where, you know, the box of borax you got, it's got the mules on in front of it. I think that's where that came from. Nice view, didn't it? But it was hot.
Furnace Creek.
Alright, this is Furnace Creek Visitor Center. It's January 28th.
The Department of Drug Enforcement here in New York, and I want to show you the building that they went into behind me, 1372 Ogden Avenue. The DEA of New York, alongside the Justice Department and ATF, were assisting the Department of Homeland Security with their immigration enforcement efforts. I want to show you the pictures right now of exactly what went on early this morning. A raid that took place likely before 6 o'clock this morning. You can see more than a dozen armed agents and officers working side by side along Ogden Avenue. And we can confirm at least one building that they went into was this one, 1372 Ogden Avenue, making the arrest of at least one individual.
No, we just riding through.
Facing charges of kidnapping, assault, and burglary. We're told by people on the street here that it was found, according to the DEA New York, of kidnapping, burglary, and a slew of other charges that we will likely learn about in court later. We can also tell you that the arrests will likely continue, as Christino has posted.
Canyon trailhead. It's a 1.5 mile hike to Golden Canyon. I'm not gonna have time to do that. I am wanting to hike the archway. I'm sorry, the bridge canyon. I don't know if I have time or not, so let's see how it goes. It's pretty cool though. Some jagged rocks. So right now I'm 127 feet below sea level. It's pretty wild. It's starting to open up a little bit. It's another wash area. I've seen a few of those that lead out into this main wash. And that's the rocks I said looks like Vasquez rocks, just way bigger. Okay, I'm on a mile. No, I'm sorry. Alright, I'm a half mile in. I'm gonna turn around because we're gonna try to hike the natural bridge hike if we have time, and I don't know that we will. So it's already after 3. It just takes so long to get here. It's a fantastic view. What's unique about this place is when you're down in the valley, it gets dark so early. It was like 3:45 and it was already, the sun was behind the mountains, but as you come up a little bit in altitude, you get more daylight, but you can see the beams coming across the mountaintop, and you can see the valley floor. It's already in the shade. This is Artist Palette Overlook. It's beautiful. All different colors. There's another outlook for the Artist Palette. Death Valley consists of 3.4 million acres, or 5,270 square miles, and is the largest national park outside of Alaska. Badwater Basin is the lowest point in Death Valley at 280 feet below sea level. The highest point in Death Valley is Telescope Peak at 11,049 feet. The highest temperature recorded in the park is 134 degrees Fahrenheit, and the lowest temperature recorded is 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Oddly enough, both of these were recorded in the same year of 1913. As I mentioned earlier, one day is not enough time to explore all of the park. We missed our planned hike at the Wilderness Bridge area. Because of the remoteness of this park, the sheer size, there are not enough hours in the day to see all of it. I recommend staying at the park and giving yourself 2 to 3 days to explore. While you are there, imagine yourself as a pioneer or settler in the 1800s, crossing this landscape on horseback or in a carriage. It seems like an impossible task and makes you appreciate their journey of settling the West. This is Zabrisky's Point. You just missed the sunset.